Okay, hi everybody. My name's Paul, so I'm your tutor for this course. What I thought I'd just do is, I've noticed I think we probably need to support you a little bit more with the detailing of the dimensioning on the drawings that are coming through. The ones I've seen on the tutorials so far are looking pretty good, but I think we just need to up the game a bit. I mean, this is you're expected to be at a pretty good level of study at this stage, so let's just give you a bit more support to get the drawings looking a little bit better, and how you can go about creating a nicer looking drawing and the tools that are available for you to help create that, because I think probably in all fairness we haven't really taught that too well in the learning material. So I thought I'd put this support video out just to give you an idea about the things that you can do just to really make your drawing look a little bit smarter. And it is also meant to be assessed at AS 1100 anyway, so yeah, it's a good chance to sort of really get a smart looking drawing out there. And in all fairness, you want to be presenting something that looks smart in your future employment. If you're doing some kind of CAD work and creating drawings, you want to be presenting something that looks pretty sharp and something you'd be proud of. So some of these steps will help you towards that. So with SolidWorks anyway, I've just whipped up this little thing here. It's not created to any particular scale or anything. It was just something that I sort of was having a look on the net for ideas of what to do for you, and it's called a swash plate leveler. I've added the holes into it just because I want to show you how to dimension for a PCD, or how you can manipulate the drawing to do that. And yeah, so that's just a part that we put together, and I just used a revolve sketch for the basis of that, and then just cut the rest of it out and put some chamfers in a circular pattern. So it might look a little bit sort of weird, but it's pretty simple once you sort of get into it. And you can see from here the history. So there's the revolve, and cut through the middle, and cut out of that profile. So even if we roll it back, you can see how we made it from that. And then put the hole in, which I could actually do at the base sketch at the revolve level. I could do that just by offsetting it from the centre. And cutting that out, putting the chamfer in, and putting one hole in, and creating a circular pattern to put the others in. So that was just very briefly how that's done. We want to create a drawing of this, so if we come up here to the button for making new, and if you're down, you can create a new part, but we can also make a drawing from the part or assembly. So if we click on that, OK on that screen, then we're going to get some options here. Now these, it's an A4 sheet, you've got A3, A2 and all that sort of thing. So we're just going to go for the A4 ISO sheet, the standard drawing format. If you're just wanting a blank page, you can turn off the display sheet format, and you'll get rid of all the title block and borders, and it'll just be a blank page. We OK that. So there's our sheet, and now we've got the option of what views we want to put in and how we create them. So very simply, click on it with your left mouse click and just drag it into the drawing area. Let it go. Now just by not doing anything else, just by moving your mouse, we can create the plane, and we can create an under elevation there, and we can create an auxiliary view, and we can create side views and things. So being a fairly symmetrical product, it's not worth creating too many more. We're just going to get confused. So just going to do that. So escape to get out of it, so you're not dropping in any more views. And the auxiliary view, you can move around and sort of place it. One thing you'll have noticed here that it is a little bit small laid out in the A4 sheet, so we can change that by right clicking, and just down here where the arrow is, if you click those double arrows, it'll give us some more options, and we can select properties, and we can actually now change it to an A3, and if we want to, we can now change the scale as well. So let's change it to half scale, 1 to 2, and go OK. Go through. Just probably didn't like me trying to change too many things at once. So now we can drag that view over there, and we can drag those over and look like that. So because the extra views up here were created from this main one, when we drag the main one, they all go with it. if you try and do that, it won't do on the top one, but we do have the opportunity of moving it vertically. So just get it sort of so that it looks really sort of nicely centered. Visually it looks really good, something that you're going to be proud of, and that we're going to have some room for fitting the dimensions and things on without too much dramas. One of the other things that you'll notice down here is that the text is a little bit too big. We can change that to fit into the title block because that doesn't look right. So by going right click, edit sheet format, and if you double click on the text, it comes up, and what you'll have coming up on your screen also is a chance to change it. So if we say make that 18, yeah, that's filling there quite well. Click away from the area, and then right click again and just go edit sheet, and that will turn that editing function off, and the text looks a lot smarter. For creating diameters, it's quite simple. So you can come up here and click on Smart Dimension, or what I've got used to over the years is just right clicking and coming down to Smart Dimension there. So we can do the whole. Now if you bring it straight out, you get the option of it like that, or if you bring your mouse up a bit, you get the leader line to look like that. So we can also do that feature there, and we can do the body diameter as well. Just rotate those around. The other thing that we have here is the PCD for the holes. So we can dimension the construction line as well, but you see how the cursor changes. You can dimension the hole, but it will start to look a bit cluttered if we start to do too much over this side. So what we could potentially do is, let's dimension the hole, and you can see again, if we come out horizontally it goes like that, or if we just move it off a bit, or off the horizontal, we get it like that. So I'm going to bring it out quite a ways. Now this is where I want to show you the dimensioning and how we can modify the text a bit. Over here on the left hand side in this dimension property manager here, it's got the code that SolidWorks has put in for creating the diameter that was generated off that hole. If we left click into the area just after that, we can go diameter 5.5, and then we can do 3 places on A, and we're going to talk about the PCD. So here we want the diameter symbol to be in, so we can come down and click on diameter and carry on a diameter 136 PCD, pitch super diameter, and then left click out of the area. So we've modified that text, giving more detail on what's happening there. So we've got 3 holes, diameter 5.5, 3 places on a 136 diameter PCD. Once you've created that, you can move it around if it looks a little bit better on there. So a little bit more details given. If we're wanting to just do vertical dimensions, we can still use the Smart Dimension by clicking on the top and then clicking on the opposite side where we want to go to there, and bring it out. If we're wanting to add some thicknesses for the parts of the drawing, we can click and bring them out, and we probably want to know that step. Now, one of the things that I see quite regularly coming through, and escape takes you out of the drawing function, is I'm seeing this kind of thing and this kind of thing. So that just looks horrible. It looks messy, looks unprofessional. So just drag your actual dimensions into the center of the leader, and this one you can bring down and out. We don't actually have room to fit in there, and that's why I've chosen it like that. So all of a sudden that's starting to look a lot sharper. Now one of the other things you can do in SolidWorks is if you click on the arrow, and at the back here you can see a little circle, if you click on that it brings the arrows to the inside, so you can change which way they go. And so already we've started to make that look quite a bit smarter. The other things that are a fault that I do see coming through is dimensions that are up into the border. That's a no-no. Now we've got a little chamfer that was created on here. Now if we are in the dimension tool again, I'm used to right clicking it, we can go smart dimensions or we can go more dimensions, and we can drop down to chamfer. So select, I guess I'll zoom in a bit, select that, you'll see it go orange, click on that and click on the opposite one, and all of a sudden you'll see that it brings up automatically designation for a chamfer. So it's a 2 mil chamfer of 45 degrees. That's sort of much smarter sort of way about it. That's really probably the key things that I wanted to just point out. It's not rocket science, it wasn't anything dramatic or difficult, it was just some of the basics. And some of those simple little tools you're probably not aware of how you can manipulate the arrows. So again, if we do this will probably bring up, yeah, bingo, it's exactly what I wanted. So we've got a radius in there that we wanted, and if I click on the arrow, it's now got the arrow into there rather than into the part itself, so it looks a lot sharper, it looks a lot smarter. Those are the things that I wanted to just show you, just some simple little tips that will help you present a much smarter, tidier looking drawing. One of the other things you can add to, if you like, is a little bit more drama, is if you left click in the area where the drawing is and you'll get this little dotted bounding box. We can come up to here and actually make it solid, like it's the model, it's the part. So that just adds a little bit more bling to your drawing as well. And again, if you're not happy with that, you think it's up a bit too high, you can drag them down, move them around to where you think is going to give you the nicest view without it being cluttered. All the dimensions obviously are going to be there, and don't forget these little tips, because this can make quite a big difference to how your drawing is. If you can imagine, like that's in there, it just looks messy, it's kind of a little bit harder to actually see sometimes what it's actually dimensioning. By bringing it out there, making it bold and clear, much tidier. Keep the dimensions centered onto the leader line, and the leader lines of nice even lengths away from the drawing, so it's all clear and a good presentation. Okay, hopefully I haven't rambled on too much and you've enjoyed that and you find it a bit useful. Okay, catch you later. Cheers. Bye.